and welcome everyone to this breakout session. Hope you're all having a great TAF so far. My name is Niket Chitre, and I'm the practice lead for professional services at TIPCO, and I'm joined by my colleague and data scientist, Venkata Jagannath. We are super excited to have with us a leader who's charting the way for innovation in digital manufacturing at Pfizer, Hamid Mehndizadeh. As you may have heard in his keynote speech, Hamid is going to walk us through a pathbreaking Manufacturing Intelligence Workbench program that is enabling Pfizer's factory of the future. So Hamid, please take it away.
Sure, thanks very much for the kind words, Niket. Hi everyone. As Niket mentioned, I'm Hamid Mehndizadeh and I'm the Director of Manufacturing Intelligence at Pfizer. And today we are going to talk about our digital manufacturing intelligence program and how we are using that to enable the factory of the future vision at Pfizer. And before I jump into the rest of the content and the rest of this presentation, just a quick disclaimer that this presentation is not the official position of Pfizer. Our purpose in Pfizer is to deliver breakthroughs that change patients' lives. So basically, patients are at the forefront of everything we do, and to serve our patients is our moral compass. Our company is, as most of you know, it's a very large company. We have a revenue of close to $42 billion in 2020. We are selling our products in more than 125 countries. We have a network of 42 manufacturing sites worldwide and close to 80,000 colleagues around the world. We have 7 products with sales greater than $1 billion in value in 2020. And our team is dedicated to supporting Pfizer Global Supply, or PGS, which is Pfizer's global manufacturing and supply branch. Pfizer PGS, it has 42 manufacturing sites, as I mentioned. We produce 615 products and supply more than 18,000 SKUs as part of that. So as you can see, a huge network of the site, complex operations. Moving forward, we would want to focus on the digital manufacturing intelligence program at Pfizer, what it entails, where we started, and what are our main initiatives that we are focusing on. Pfizer Digital Manufacturing Intelligence is part of a larger group. We are part of Pfizer Digital Manufacturing team. And the goal of digital manufacturing in Pfizer is to create a digital thread through PGS. Using this digital thread, we want to enable a world-class manufacturing and supply chain organization that would increase visibility across diverse systems and processes, and with the final goal of reducing waste and delivering predictive analytics. Digital manufacturing team supports different levels of the organization, from the shop floor operations to site management, and all the way up to the top floor to the executive leadership team. So the digital tools that we are providing and supporting is supporting all different levels of manufacturing at Pfizer. Moving forward, I want to maybe give an overview of where we started initially this program in 2016 and where we are heading. Our original state, maybe this is very common for many pharmaceutical and other manufacturing companies, we started with a situation that we had a large number of digital silos and limited operational visibility into our data. As you know, we have a large number of core solutions that would enable manufacturing a product. These are different systems like the PLCs, SCADAs, DCS systems, our manufacturing execution systems, as well as ERP. And the data that's generated by these systems is naturally consumed in many different reporting and analytics tools that are required by different functions in Pfizer. And as you can see, this situation, we had various reporting tools, but it's very unsustainable to maintain all of them at the same time. knowledge is mainly trapped within different systems, and there is limited accessibility to equipment data. Moving forward, and the future state that the digital manufacturing program is going to enable is to have a connected plant and supply chain. We would want to have one central data repository that would enable access to all of the data from multiple core solutions. And that way we would want to unlock the knowledge that's entrapped in these data sources. And using the combination of these advanced cloud-based tools, we want to increase visibility and predictive capabilities at the shop floor. And moving forward, the reason that we initiated our manufacturing intelligence program under the digital manufacturing was realization of the fact that today being competitive means being AI driven. We know that companies that fully absorb AI in their value producing workflows, they would be able to dominate the future world economy by basically creating significant cash growth. And that's how the digital manufacturing intelligence was initiated in 2020 in Pfizer as part of the digital manufacturing program. Our vision is to enable Pfizer global supply to win the digital race by transforming process data into valuable knowledge and insights. And our strategy to achieve this goal is by researching, identifying, and onboarding the most advanced MI solutions and technologies that would enable world-class AI-driven manufacturing operation. So in summary, I can say that our main goal is to make AI commonplace in Pfizer manufacturing and make it accessible to everyone. And using this concept and this initiative, we want to deliver the factory of the future vision. Here I'm showing the different levels of a plant maturity as part of digital plant maturity model. And under this kind of ranking, you know, any plant, a plant can be in any different level, from a pre-digital silo to digital silos and connected plant, and at the end of the higher levels of maturity becoming predictive and adaptive. The role of the manufacturing intelligence is to take a connected plant, which is already digitized to some level, and make it more predictive and adaptive. And that way become closer to the factory of the future vision. The way we have defined this factory of the future vision in Pfizer, it has four main elements. First, we want to enable centralized knowledge. We want to have all data from various source systems at end users' fingertips, and then deliver standardized one-stop shop for analytics, and then use this centralized knowledge to enable decentralized decision-making by delivering self-service capabilities that would enable viewing data through on-demand customizable dashboard. And we want to enable data-driven decision-making by those who are closest to and hence most knowledgeable about the process. These are personas like our engineers and scientists at the site who are doing the day-to-day operation and managing manufacturing of products. Then the next element of the adaptive plant in Pfizer is enabling pervasive sensors. We know that more data would enable and improve AI algorithms. So we want to have data-rich processes using online real-time sensors that would enable deeper in-time insights, and then transition from model-centric to data-centric MLOps. And finally, be able to enable model-free predictive maintenance in support of our reliability engineering. The last element would be deployment of advanced analytics that would require a huge culture and mindset shift in the way that we do our operations right now. We want to use predictive algorithms and modelings to enable a shift from reactive to proactive operations. And by using auto AI or auto ML capabilities, we want to empower our citizen data scientists, or people who are not necessarily core computer scientists or data scientists, but are still interested in deploying AI and machine learning to better operate the manufacturing operations, and also leverage AI and machine learning in support of manufacturing processes so that we can consistently deliver highest yield possible in our operations. So what I described so far is how we are going and where we are going and the type of applications, but how are we going to enable all of these different concepts? At the core of our manufacturing intelligence is the MI Workbench concept, which is the infrastructure that we are creating for enablement of scalable analytics capabilities and applications across Pfizer global supply. So what is MI Workbench? MI Workbench has two main components. The first component is an MI data mart, which would enable real-time and GXP compliant access to data from all existing data, underlying data sources. This can be data from our historians, electronic batch records, manufacturing execution systems, and every single data source that's available at the shop floor and would basically host data from manufacturing operations. So that's the first component of the MI Workbench. And then we would augment that with an analytics platform that would enable a myriad of different types of analytics. Obviously, I don't want to go into the details of all these different types of analytics, but these are basically the analytics that we know over many years of manufacturing operations that are required to meet our regulatory obligations or to support manufacturing processes. Some examples, for example, continuous process monitoring, process robustness, tools and technologies. We want to enable deployment of soft sensors, predictive type of analytics. So the MI Workbench is designed to support every type of analytics that's needed for manufacturing operation support. And then it would enable concepts like MLOps, creating reports, dashboards, and visualizations, and also streaming analytics to enable operationalization of the models in real time. Here, I want to provide a quick capability view. What's the underlying parts of the MI Workbench? It has multiple layers. We have an end user UI visualization layer. Then we have an ETL layer that would provide access to data sources by replicating or federating the data. The MI data mart layer would provide data catalogs, views, tables, and procedures, and a common data model. And then the MI AP or analytics platform, which would provide real-time batch predictions and data science, AI, and machine learning deployments. And then finally, we have a DevOps and MLOps layer that would enable version and model management, CI/CD pipelines, and job scheduling. And finally, the microservices and API framework layer. So this is basically a quick capability view into the MI Workbench. Moving forward, some of the main value drivers for MI Workbench and why we are doing this basically. These values include, at the beginning, we want to have improved and automated data wrangling processes, basically a streamlined and efficient and high quality data. And then we want to enable a standardized platforms and workflows that would streamline use case deployments and also accelerate ideation to deployment cycle. The value that we would get out of all of this whole initiative is providing real-time actionable insight that would enable rapid decision-making during transaction, on execution of using analytics and real-time insights that we get from the platform, optimizing our manufacturing processes, and empowering our operators, scientists, and engineers with self-service capabilities, advanced analytics deployments, and BI platforms that would provide dynamic dashboards with drill-down capabilities. And moving forward, I would want to provide some example solutions from some of the deployments that we have already implemented at a number of Pfizer sites. The first example is a process and equipment anomaly detection. We initially have deployed this solution on a major unit operation. Freeze dryers is a unit operation commonly used at many pharma applications and manufacturing operations. At one of our sites, we have 18 freeze dryers. Each of these freeze dryers, it's a very complicated process. They have more than 100 sensory data sensors installed on any freeze dryer. And a major challenge with these freeze dryers is that there is a lot of unplanned downtime associated with operation of this equipment type. Also, we have no real-time anomaly detection in place. Manual and human-dependent decision-making makes it very difficult to operate this major key unit operation. And we have little analytical insight to assist the investigations when a downtime happens or a major failure happens with how we operate the process. So we created a solution using the MI Workbench that has already been developed and deployed as part of our initial proof of concept study for the MI Workbench deployment. And the solution approach includes initially an offline investigation dashboard that would enable root cause analysis, golden batch analysis, and preventative maintenance, but all of that in an offline manner. And then once we created these models, we were able to execute the models in real time and create real-time monitoring dashboard that would enable live data monitoring as we run the process, identify issues on the fly, and then create smart alarms that would enable early detection of anomalies. And then one major aspect of the solution that has been deployed is that since the beginning, replication and scalability was a key factor in our design. We wanted to use the same dashboards that had been initially created for one single freeze dryer at the beginning to be replicated for all the unit operations we had at the site. So the same dashboard, we didn't need to do the design again. And then using a single central server, and then have the ability to deploy the same solution and dashboards across multiple sites across the network, which we are working on right now. And as for the business case and the value, it would enable consistent automated investigations, efficient scheduling of the maintenance. We can decrease batch failures and eliminate them down the road, and decrease the downtime associated with this important unit operation, which would save us really millions of dollars in value that we could have lost due to these unplanned downtimes. And it would also enable greater knowledge sharing and management. The other example that I want to present as part of this breakout session is a number of solutions that we have deployed using the MI Workbench in support of Pfizer's COVID vaccine digital program. Since the beginning, we had defined 7 key goals for the digital program in support of COVID vaccine operation, and we wanted to enable our sites to be able to meet our obligation in 2021 for manufacturing more than 2 billion doses of COVID vaccine and support the global distribution. So we have created a number of solutions under the digital manufacturing program. The one that I want to focus today is a freezer farm analytics hub. Basically, it's a dashboard that's built on the Spotfire platform, and it enables our users to track the potential alerts and excursions of the freezers and relate them to the affected batches in near real time. This solution includes a freezer status view, which is basically a digital map of the freezers representing the actual layout at the site. And then they also added a batch view that would have batch level information. It would enable the quality operations team to quickly identify if a batch has had a temperature excursion and basically relate them to the identified batches. And this application is combining and integrating data from multiple data sources at the site so that the operators, instead of having the need to go to multiple sources, be able to extract the data from them and match them together. All of that data is available in one single unified view that combines all of that together. So it has provided a lot of utility for the site operators at the site and really made the operation of the freezer farms much easier. Okay, now we are going to talk about what's next in the Pfizer journey, and I'm going to hand it over to Niket, who would cover what we are doing this year, working together with the TIBCO team.
So thank you, Hamid. These are some really awesome use cases that are truly transformative in the manufacturing industry and the manufacturing operations. Over the last 6 to 12 months, I think our partnership has resulted in some initiatives, and I think we've come a long way. I think it all began earlier this year when we laid out the foundations for the MI Workbench program by setting up the required infrastructure and all the tooling and platforms that enabled soft sensors that allows us to capture all of this sensory data in real time, right? And building upon it, we are now working on the anomaly detection use case for the freezer dryers that you mentioned, right, across this one manufacturing site, but also replicating it across multiple manufacturing sites. And through that, we are enabling end-to-end analytics capabilities through not just model development and training, but deploying those models in real time data pipelines coming from your data sources like the historians and the OSI pies. That allows us to visualize the health of the freeze dryers with more real-time dashboards, and also automating some downstream actions by fully integrating it with your plant operations on the floor. Apart from this, we're also enabling efficient data access and preparation that is required to develop all these AI ML models for all the future use cases that you have in the plan. And with MI Data Mart, the data engineers and data scientists have the ability to efficiently access and prepare data from disparate sources and standardize it across all the sites, which allows you to, have that one central solution that can be scaled and grown to all the different sites that you have around the globe. But not just that, right? We are, as throughout this program, we are also making sure that we are validating all the platforms as well as all the solutions that are being deployed to meet your regulatory compliance, right? So this is all the great work that we've done so far together. And Hamid, I'm super excited to understand what the next year holds for Pfizer. So why don't you walk us through some of the areas that we are targeting for next year?
Thanks, Niket. Yeah, we have a complete plan for 2022 and a number of major initiatives that are going to be rolled out. The first one is a digital twin concept that we are working on, and we are going to enable using the MI Workbench. We want to provide process intelligence for running simulations and A and B type of testing. So that's one initiative that we are working on. The other key initiative is enablement of predictive maintenance. This is in support of our reliability engineering program. And we know that we need to move from preventative to predictive type of maintenance, because that would basically help us gain a lot of value by making sure that our equipment always run at their best during our manufacturing operations. So that program is going to support this initiative. Moving forward, we are also going to work on edge analytics. We are going to use edge computing with integrated planned operations, and that would enable a number of key concepts like soft sensor deployments that we are working on together with our sites and our global technology and engineering partners. And finally, we are going to work on global deployment of these solutions at scale across the global manufacturing sites in PGS.
These are surely exciting times at Pfizer, Amit, and we at TIPCO certainly look forward to seeing how this program unfolds and further accelerates the drug manufacturing process. Venkat, why don't you walk us through how Pfizer is using AI ML to realize its vision and goals of becoming a more AI-driven organization?
Yeah. Thank you, Niket. So as Niket and Hamid mentioned, we're working together on a multi-year innovation project to enable a factory of the future at Pfizer. As a part of this project, our end goal is to enable different personas at Pfizer to collaborate and solve business problems at scale. The three personas of immediate interest for us are business analysts, data scientists, and ML engineers. The business analyst will use business intelligence tools such as Spotfire to understand the current state of the business. They would enter dynamic input parameters and trigger AI jobs in the backend platform. The results of after this analytical job are updated on the business intelligence tools for analysis and business action. They would not, the business analyst would not really need to understand the AI process that is being executed in the backend. That is more of a job for the data scientist. And that's sort of our next persona. The next persona is our data scientist, who will not only understand the data, but he will clean the data and he will set up the AI jobs that need to be executed when our backend system receives a request from our business analyst. Finally, the third persona that we're working towards is the ML engineer, who's basically a software engineer with a focus on AI ML, artificial intelligence machine learning. This person would be able to create new plugins for our data science platform. He'll be able to configure the connections between our business intelligence tools and our data science tools. He will also be able to deploy and version AI models at scale. So these three personas working together with engineers on the factory floors and key decision makers at Pfizer will allow us to use artificial intelligence to monitor our manufacturing process for predictive maintenance, golden batch analysis, etc. I'll hand it back to Hamid for some information on the lessons we've learned through this project.
So at the end, we want to capture some of the lessons learned as part of our journey. I think the main one is to define a simple and meaningful strategy that guides the way and aligns with your company's vision and purpose so that you can get senior leadership support. We want to focus on identifying high-value opportunities with favorable ROI, creating a win-win scenario in collaboration with site teams by engaging them from the onset, organize well-defined work streams and use cases with clear problem statement and value proposition, capture and share learnings with stakeholders and practitioners so that we can continuously foster a data-driven culture, invest time and effort to choose right tools for the next-gen platforms, and finally, architecture enablement should be natively elastic and cloud-enabled. This is all I wanted to share with you guys today. Thanks for the time, and it was a great pleasure to have the opportunity to present our manufacturing intelligence journey at Pfizer.